All right, this is it's May 6th, and episode 24, I believe. And this is after I've put the fiberglass cloth and resin on all of the weld seams here. I decided to do that before I stopped yesterday, so it would dry overnight. And now what I have to do is just lightly sand it and get it ready for the short strand fiberglass to seal it off completely. All right, I got this short strand fiberglass put down on all the weld seams, both on the floor and on the waterfall panel back there. So I've got to let it dry before I can address this B-pillar. So in the meantime, and this is the B-pillar, that's marked approximately where it needs to be cut, but I'm going to come up above that. You can always trim back, but I can't add any metal to it. So meanwhile, I'm going to install this, weld in this driver rocker panel that I made. It's going to go right here. Make use of the time, because this panel needs to be welded in anyway before the floor piece goes in, because as you might recall from all the other videos, the floor piece has a well, I can't show you because I don't have it out, but it's actually in here. It's got this flange on it right there, and that flange will weld with some spot welds. I'll have to punch in it. It'll weld spot welds to this side of the rocker, so that piece has to go in first, and so I'm going to make use of time here and go ahead and do that. All right, I got this welded on. Went pretty smoothly, especially using the copper backer that I have. It's still a little bit warm. I need to clean it. Anyway, so now I'm going to grind the welds down, and then put my normal fiberglass cloth and resin trick over the weld seam, so no issues. All right. All right, I ground all the welds down, and I went ahead and added the the fiberglass cloth and the resin to the welds. Seal them off, and I added some additional to the panel here that had the rust holes through that I didn't want to cut out little squares and replace that, as well as where the diamond plate was mounted before, rather than to fill all those in. Much easier and just as effective to do this. So, all right, so that's it for the moment. And the next thing to do will be to clean up this short strand fiberglass back in here, and then weld in my my B-pillar. All right. All right, I decided not to do the B-pillar today. Just not really in the mood for doing any more welding, but went ahead and put a coat of the short strand fiberglass over the weld seam. But I overlooked the fact that I had some other areas besides the weld seam that was actually right here. I needed to come all the way down to the bottom right here, because there's a rust spot there that I've fiberglassed over with the resin and cloth, and one of the little holes for the diamond plate is there. Anyway, long story short, I needed to just go ahead and do a full width of that whole rocker all the way down. So I'm gonna let this dry, probably hit it tomorrow, and just sand it back, and then come over top with another skim coat of the short strand fiberglass, and that'll get things where they need to be. And also, I don't know how I missed this, but these are there's a hole there and there. That was, again, the end of the diamond plate. Not sure how I missed those, but I did. So I'm going to, tomorrow, again, I'll fiberglass with the cloth and the resin and cover that up. And then I'll, when I go to do the short strand, I'll include that. So this whole rocker panel will have a swath of the short strand fiberglass on it, and from there I'll begin to finesse it, get it as flat as I can, and put a skim coat of the light body filler on there, and then start sanding with my inline sander to find out where the low spots are, using a guide coat of primer on there, and so forth. So anyway, that's gonna do it for today. Again, I'm gonna let this dry, and I'll hit that with the sander tomorrow as well. And so besides the B pillar that needs to go in, there's only one more portion of the floor that I have left, the biggest one, biggest in size, that is. Hopefully it's not too difficult to do, but this is the driver's floor pan replacement. So I've got that piece in here, and I'll have to custom cut it to fit, because the piece that's in there is a little bit, you know, it covers all the way from here all the way up to the firewall, and probably about halfway up this transmission hump. But obviously I'm not going to use all of that, so I'm going to have to set it in place and somehow mark it, or take measurements or something. I'll figure it out. But that's the last one to go in, and from there I've got these wheel houses to deal with, especially this one here, which is the main reason I just went ahead and ordered 2 of them. But it's going to be a little bit tricky getting these out of there, I'm sure. And then I'll have a piece that I need to cut and patch weld in this hole here in the fender. As mentioned before, I could order that whole thing, but I don't want to pay the price that they want for it, so and that I don't even need it anyway. This here, I can do a little patch as well. But so basically, I guess I'll do it in 2 areas. I'll do a patch here, and then do a little patch over there. This is fine. It appears to be fine. This over here, as mentioned before, this whole panel, I'm going to cut this off, and this whole panel is going to be replaced, because I can't deal with that, obviously. And this side panel is actually in decent shape, other than that it's rough in here. It's got, I guess that was pitting or something that was there, so I'll smooth that out with the fiberglass. There's one little hole right here, probably just fiberglass that as well. But it's coming together. And the front fender is pretty much there. I'm done with it for the moment. I'll address that when I go to start putting a skim coat of filler on to get everything nice and straight, flat, near the end of the preparation before painting. So, all right, that's it for today. Catch you guys next time.